Greetings, dear ones, and happy Day of Love, as I refer to it. It is Valentine's Day 2022. And, this is a fascinating holiday and all that it symbolizes. Here in the United States, it's more often than not kind of looking at love from a romantic perspective. Excuse me. Many years ago, living in Mexico, it was referred to as El Dia de la Amistad, which means the day of friendship. And for me, over the years, I have come to see it as a day of love, all forms of love, interactions with family, friends, neighbors, our planet, our co constituents on this planet, trees, plants, animals, etc. Because we in English use the term love for everything from ice cream to the newest trend to when we are deeply, wholeheartedly in love with someone, as well as I mentioned, family and friends. And that term, unfortunately, has become what I refer to as a bucket term, meaning that there are so many definitions and perspectives and references surrounding it that you really have to do some work and kind of set that bucket aside and explore what it really means for you. And what I have discovered over the years, and in particular working with clients, is that one really needs to know thyself in order to love thyself. And once one actually loves thyself, then it automatically multiplies and pours out like an overflowing cup to everything around you, and that sense of eternal love and divine love, meaning that it is always and forever, it is eternal, it is not something that diminishes, it can be expanded, but the underlying vibration of this universe can and does, for the most part, it's a benevolent universe, even though there's a lot going on, and certainly we see that being played out on our planet. It is still a universe that, in its underlying makeup, is based in a form of constructive, creative, loving energy or loving power. So I really, really encourage you. Self love has become a byword these days, and oftentimes people mistake it, I think, for self indulgence or self care, which should be part of the norm simply because you do feel that way about oneself. But it's very, very difficult to do so unless you have really done some work and transformed those pieces within that lead you to believe you are unlovable or less than worthy of the highest forms of love. So, what I've found over the years in working with clients is as those pieces are transformed or even transmuted, which is a much deeper level of change and shifting and transformation, then that love, that self love comes automatically. And it's a beautiful, pure, healthy, whole loving of self. So I'm always encouraging everyone to explore and uncover and transform, hopefully transmute or even metamorphosize those aspects, not only of our human self, but our beyond human self, which lead us to believe and think and feel that we are smaller and lesser than we are to have, fill ourselves with, overflow with, and send out the boundless love that really is within us. And I heard a very interesting retelling of an experiment that was done. Many of you who have listened to my work are familiar with Heart Math. It's a fabulous foundation that has done countless experiments over the past several decades into the intelligence, the power, and the science of the heart and energy. And this person was relating that one of the experiments that Heart Math did was they actually took an instrument and were able to measure the photons in the heart. And photons are little teeny packets of light energy. And this is, part of science. It's not something made up, it's not woo woo. And when they measured the resting heart, it transmitted about 20 photons of light. Then they invited the people to breathe deeply, to sink down in to a meditative state, and once in that deeply meditative state, to bring just the love within outward, just sending it outward. They remeasured the heart and actually found over 100,000 photons of light, which is, again, clear evidence of what can be, particularly from, they were measuring that of individuals, but the power of a group combined is exponential. Um, I have explored with colleagues and with a group. We had one of our dear friends living in Colorado, and the recent wildfires were in her area and getting closer and closer to her home. And in working with the area, again, not fighting with the fire, but sending just beautiful, loving, protective, um, creative energy around her home. And miraculously, the fire went to the road, large road, highway near her house, but it never jumped the highway to get to her property, which was amazing. I just recently was in contact with a member of the Healers Universe community, someone who's been to my workshops and done work with me, and she was so upset the past few days. Her son was gravely ill in ICU, potentially at death's door. And in working with her son at calling in, her healing colleagues and people that she knows. And over the weekend, there was an enormous amount of energy being sent to her, to him, her son. And I got a text from her this morning that he is not only out of danger, but they're going to step him down to a unit out of ICU into a lesser care unit. He's breathing on his own, he's eating. So, literally, in a matter of hours, the turnaround was amazing. I related a couple of different client encounters this week, and again, it comes from that transformation, which allows the natural love of self and others to come through. And it was very, very interesting that in one instance, both instances, these clients were able to connect so deeply to an aspect of nature and a land. In one case, the land near her home. In another case, this is an expert that is actually, she is a nature spirit walking. And her interaction with the animals and the trees and the waterways literally is changing that into more health and more abundance in this area. And I also related to a couple of people that I have mice living in my home, and raccoons came right to my door, and I handed them almost in their hands some food over the weekend. And both of these people were are people that are spiritual people and very connected to nature, I thought, and land. And both of them are warning me and telling me to get the animals out of my house. It's going to damage the house, etc. And I tried to explain to them that for me, it is a question of communication and deep connection, and that my home, my land is a sanctuary, and that we will come to an agreement of not harming while, still being able to live together or live as neighbors. There's a beautiful book by Michelle Wright, and it's called Behaving as If the God in All Things Mattered. And that's really how it feels to me is, over the years I've worked with so many people and so many groups, and if we don't truly transform our way of interacting with one another, living here on this planet with all of the great diversity as humans and on this planet in the variety of environments, the diversity of plant life, animal life, insect life, the weather, etc., then we aren't going to make it. And so, to me, this day of love is an opportunity to really utilize the power of that love. And what can happen in groups. I've conducted many groups and courses and day-long workshops and retreats. And when multiple people are gathered together, and it isn't just a question of coming up with a particular theme and shooting that energy towards a group of people or what have you, but it's once we are more in touch with ourselves and really including those parts of ourselves that otherwise we deem as negative or unwanted, that we're really able to combine the energies in an alchemical crucible and allow for the re-imprinting of human nature. So I'm very, very excited about an upcoming group program. It's personal and planetary redesign, and it's going to be a 3-month program, gathering together as a group once a month with WhatsApp contact in between, and other assistance and other videos available for people to utilize. But this is going to be very, very transformative. Each and every person in the group is going to be affected every time the group gathers. And we will be working with individuals each time, but the group itself will learn how to utilize the energetic gifts and abilities and talents that they have to bring together and work as a blended, not blended, but yeah, in a way, blended energetics for healthy or positive or healing outcome. There'll be more information about it, but I really encourage you to um, send me a message or contact me in some way, and I'm happy to share some more information about it. Right now, what I'd like to do is invite each of you to just sit very, very sturdily, very, very firmly on your sits bones, whether you're on a chair or on a couch or on the floor. And finding those sits bones, it really allows you to sit sturdily and strongly, and thereby enabling you to kind of drop your shoulder blades in the back, and they have a tendency to just kind of slide together rather than us living like this as we normally do with our energy fields pushed up to our heads. And just allowing yourself to sit there for a moment and feel your body. Most of the time, I would say, very, very high percentage of people are not actually embodying themselves. The energy field tends to be pushed upward, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, because that's a form of protection. It's a form of trying to deal with everything that's going on in one's life from a very limited or confining um, portion of us. And again, as you've heard me speak of on other occasions, that has to do with the patterning that we grew up with as children. Again, very, very purposeful on behalf of our soul's design, but nevertheless, very, very painful and scary and etc. And so we learned how to deal with that, but what happens is then we are smaller and smaller, or there's less and less of us to actually be here and be present in our lives and be in our bodies. So, this is an opportunity to just let your body do what it is meant to do, which is to hold you up so that you don't have to. And I just really invite you to, instead of going up to your mind or going to your third eye or envisioning or seeing on your inner mind screen, just allowing yourself to bring your sensating, physical, experiential self downward and inward, and really noticing what's going on inside. And as you do, just very, very gently noting the sensations perhaps in your chest, the air moving in and out, and just very, very gently bringing your attention to the very center of your chest, which is usually kind of in between the breasts, both on men and women. It's that very center line between. And just letting yourself experience that area of your body. It is where the heart chakra is located. Not your physical heart, but your heart chakra, which is your energy center, that's related to many things, but very much so to emotions, and in particular can generate massive amounts of energy, of love. Although there are many areas in the system that can experience and transmit love, but for today, we're going to bring it to the heart chakra. And I invite you to just allow yourself to, again, sensate. No need to focus, no need to work, no need to effort. Simply feel your heart chakra. And as you allow more and more of your energy field to come downward and inward, you're actually generating more energy in not only the heart chakra, but other areas of your energy field, so that you can actually land in your body. For the more you embody who you are and bringing that energy field down and in and allowing your wider self, which is your soul self, to be experienced within you, it allows you to soften and quiet the system. And I'm really transmitting and reflecting back this resonance. In other words, a frequency band that can allow your heart, your energetic heart, to be physically and energetically experienced. And as you're allowing, because there is no work, no effort in this process, your energy field, your wider self, know exactly how to do this when you simply allow it to be done. And I invite you to pick a place, group of people, an aspect of our environment, perhaps a particular animal. For me this week, my focus has been on the thousands of seals that have been washing upshore on East Africa, possibly dying from algae, an overgrowth of algae within our oceans. And so I am sending some of that generated energy resonant with love and caring and those seals and everything within our oceans being once again brought back to balance. So I'm allowing myself to feel that heart energy and transmitting that love of our oceans, our planet, the delicate balance and intricate workings between and among those members of that habitat, that aspect of oceans. And in that love and appreciation and acknowledgement and recognition and really feeling the perfection and beauty and intricate wisdom and knowledge between and among so many diverse aspects of oceans, ocean life, the shores where the ocean meet, and really feeling how deeply and profoundly interdependent we all are. And that love of the many other members of this planet, wherever you want to bring that profound recognition, appreciation, love. Perhaps it's to the people of Ukraine who are in a precarious position right at the moment. Perhaps it is a more personal connection to someone you know or know of. For remember, the more you feel in you, as you, and that love that emanates from every cell, today we're bringing it into a concentrated transmission from you for when you connect deeply into the energy of your heart through your heart chakra. We are talking about an eternal, everlasting, ever expansive love. And that transmission to a particular area, aspect of our planet, environment, people's, person, is literally measurable, palpable, and effective. It has been seen, observed, measured, and you are powerful in the transmission of that caring, that loving, that deep desire for things to be healthy, whole, free. With the unalienable right of pursuit of happiness, be it a seal, be it a cloud, be it a person, be it a country. For as you allow yourself to feel deeply into this heart center and the energy that it is generating, emanating, transmitting, you may experience it much like a fountain going outward and flowing back and through you and around you, pouring that energy of love, of caring, of heartfelt concern, of a profound longing to be and let the world be. At its highest potential. Of health and wholeness and freedom. Through diversity, to a unity. as you allow yourself to feel the expansiveness, the largeness of your heart energy. Its limitless reach. You're very welcome to continue to sit in this energy emanating, feeling that fountain of love pouring back around you to be generated to send out even more widely. And knowing that at whatever point you decide to allow your energy field and your wider self to guide you back to this more physical plane, your system will be completely integrated. And I encourage you to practice this. Even 10 minutes is all we did. Some of the beautiful Young Living oils that I've utilized over the many 20-something years that are especially standouts today are Joy. Oops, there it is. Very, very beautiful, gentle, heart level energy. Jasmine, helping you to find the sweet spot within you. And this one you can see is very used, but it is life of passion. And of course, the highest frequency of all, beautiful rose oil. Oops, there it is. Rose oil. Such helpers in our ability to realize, sit in, acknowledge, recognize, appreciate, and generate and emanate that energy of love. And please reach out. I am so excited about this upcoming group program where there is going to be very accelerated transformation for each and every member. And please get on board so that we can help you and change the world. Until next time, and as always, it is with the most honor, gratitude, and love for your presence here on the planet. Until next time.